All right. So we've had a few questions from the parents. One of the other ones that we wanted to kind of just cover, and this kind of links into the children struggling a little bit emotionally during the lockdown period. I suppose, how else can we support them? Is there any other kind of words of wisdom in terms of how we can support them through this
Yeah.
time?
Mm-hmm. First thing to notice about with their anxiety or their behavior in general of what they're going through right now is to remember that all behavior is communication with children and adults and everyone. All behavior is communication. You would love it if your kid said to you when you're on the phone, Mommy, I'm feeling neglected. I would love your attention right now. But that's not what they do. They draw on the wall, they push their sibling, they steal lollies out of the cupboard, they behave in a way that communicates, I want your attention, but they don't say it to you blatantly, just blah, as you want them to say it. Or I'm having a hard time, I'm feeling anxious, I'm sad I can't see my friends. Like, that's usually not how they're going to articulate it. It's going to come out in being whiny, crying more, being angry more.
Stack on fighting, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So much of that, so much more aggression.
So much
more aggression.
That's probably what your two are doing right now, and Tash in the other room.
They've done well. They've done well for leaving you alone for this long.
Honestly, today I've been bribing them all day. They're actually playing some Empire Star Wars thing at the moment. So as long as we're chatting, that's what they're doing. But as soon as I turn that off, you'll actually hear this, and then it's a stack on. It's like, what just happened? But I gave you video games. Totally. So I don't know. They're definitely communicating something to me. This is what you can help me decode.
Yeah. So all behavior is communication. So rather than saying or calling your kids naughty or saying what they just did is naughty or that they're misbehaving, if you reframe it in your head as all behavior is communication, and you instead get curious, what are they trying to communicate to me right now? Is it possible that they're feeling frustrated because they've been stuck inside for days and days and days? Is it possible that they're missing their friends? Is it possible that they're feeling a lot of big feelings and they don't know how to navigate? I mean, how many adults know how to navigate their emotions? Like kids especially don't know how to navigate their emotions. So a lot of times they'll get angry at us, or they'll, I've had a lot of clients saying to me recently, my kid has been saying, I hate you. And my kid's never said that to me. A lot of that stuff is coming up because they're feeling overwhelmed and they're feeling a lot of intense emotions that they're not used to feeling. And they don't even know what they are. Like, there's no emotional literacy that we teach in school, really. I mean, probably more so now than when we all were growing up, but like just identifying all the different emotions that are out there beyond just sad and angry and happy, but things like frustrated or jealous or concerned. There's so much literacy that you can be teaching your children about their emotions and how they're feeling that then help empower and equip them when they get into these situations where they're frustrated. That's a huge one that you can be doing. So all behavior is communication. Get curious on what they're trying to communicate with you, and ask yourself, how can I build connection in this moment? So is what I'm about to say going to build connection or disconnection? And if it's going to build disconnection, can I not say it, or can I say it in a different way that promotes connection? And connection is really the core of everything we want to be doing right now with our kids. Yes, academics matter. Yes, exercise and eating well and all that stuff. Yeah. We all know that matters. But what I think gets missed a lot, and, working, a lot of us have to still work to have money coming in the door. Yes, all that stuff matters. But what matters the most to me right now, and this is like, if this is the one thing people take away from this podcast, is connection needs to be your number one focus right now. How can I connect with my children, and how can I make them feel safe? Screaming at them and losing it, that doesn't make them feel safe. If I can try to prioritize even 10 minutes of one-on-one time with each of my kids at the beginning of the day or throughout the day, that can save you so many tantrums and so much fighting between them.
That's a good one. That's a very doable one too.
Yeah, and giving them their own independent, individual, special time.
Yeah, and calling it like mom time, or, special elephant time, or I don't know, whatever they want to call it, drawing time, or we play shops, and doing things like letting them be the leader, letting them dictate the play. So if it's, do you want to play shops? And okay, so who am I? Am I the shopkeeper or am I a customer? And then they tell you who you're going to be. If it's older kids, it could be, you're really great at makeup. Can you do my makeup, or can you teach me how to do it? If they're a little bit older than that, and they're, say, super into TikTok or Instagram, saying, I have no idea how to do TikTok. How does it even work? Can you teach me?
Oh, that's cool.
And having them be the expert.
When we're not in a pandemic, which is usually, we do day dates. So my husband and I will take either child, and then we'll kind of like Heidi and I will go and do something that Heidi loves to do that's really artistic, or Cooper and I'll do something that he loves to do that's very food based and different cuisines and whatever. Whereas now, because we're all shut in, you don't have that. But I'm like, I should so be doing that just within these four walls. But just another quick question, just tagging on to that. What about, are our kids going to be more resilient because they've had to cope with this? Like, is this going to be like helpful for them, like for future? Like, if a child has to, lose a grandparent early, or, there's like, they've gone through something quite significant, are they going to be more, robust on the other side of this?
Yeah. Good question. I think when you look at resilience, you got to look at what makes you resilient and what are the things that contribute to resiliency. And I don't know about you guys, but if I look back at my life and I look back at the things that I've been through, where I learned the most, where I grew the most, pretty sure we would all tip and say it was the hard times. It wasn't the easy cruisy times that I grew and developed. And painful and a lot of suffering, but that's where I learned. And that's where I grew my thick skin, was through, and my problem solving abilities and stuff was through hard times. So I think this whole experience for me is bringing up the concept of like just pain, I think, and changing our relationship with pain. I think a lot of us as parents think our main goal as a parent is to protect our children and keep them safe. And that's certainly part of the brief of, protecting our kids. But I think what a lot of us do in error is we try to protect our kids from all pain. And that's not how they get resilient, and that's not how they grow. And that's also not helpful for their self-esteem, because if you shield someone consistently from pain or hardship or disappointment, you think you're communicating to them you're safe and you're okay. But what you actually are communicating to them, and I've heard this from adult clients who had parents like that, and adolescents who have parents like that, they say to me, what that actually communicates to me is, you don't think I can handle it. You don't think I can do it. And then that makes me doubt myself. And then I feel more anxious and more afraid because you don't think I'm strong enough. So what I preach and try to follow in my own life and try to do is, I actually believe more in pointing our children in the direction of pain and telling them, you can handle this. And I know you can handle this because I know you and I know your heart. And yes, I see the fear, and the fear is big, but I see your courage too, and your courage is bigger. And I'm right behind you. So you can go tackle whatever, because I'm right behind you. And rather than I'm going to be in front of you, shielding, protect. And then they never learn how to grow. And it's like, it's in those experiences in life and just repeated pain and repeated suffering and repeated hardship that our children learn, oh, this can't touch me. I can go through fire after fire after fire. And then that's how I know I'm fireproof. But if you keep them from going into the fires, they never get to learn that. And the earlier you learn that, like I don't know, in my early 20s went through a really painful experience and relationship breakdown and depression. And it was a really challenging period. But I got to learn then very early on, I'm fireproof and I can get through anything. And coming out of that experience in my early 20s, I then got to see whatever life throws at me, I will get through. Because if I could beat that, and if I could get through that, I can do anything. And then every challenge that came after that, like moving to another country when I was 26, building a life here, overcoming lots of adversity and other challenges, I just kept going back to, but look at what I got through in my early 20s. If I could get through that, I can get through anything. So the earlier you can teach your children, you can do it. And it's not going to kill you. You're going to get through this, and you'll get through it because I'm connected to you, right? Going back to the whole connection. If you're connected to me, I'm constantly, the analogy I kind of like is like a boxer. Like a boxer goes in the ring, our child goes in the ring. They do a few rounds, they get knocked about. And we're just sort of sitting back in the corner, holding our breath like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then they come and they sit on the stool. We give them water. We're massaging their shoulders. And we're like, you got this, you got this. That was a great shot that last round. You know, look at his knees. His knees are a little bit wobbly. I think you could, right? And we coach him, and you got this, and back at you go. Rather than you just sit on the stool, sweetheart, and I'm going to go fight all the battles for you. They don't learn that way. And it's a delicate balance, though, of like, where do I cushion them and love and support them and protect them? And then where do I push them? Cushion and pushing. You know, where do I push and say, you can do this, and you got this, and I'm right here next to you, bud, versus when do I protect and shield? And that's very, very tricky and very, very hard to navigate. But this experience, what we're going through right now, is an awesome opportunity to show them, look at what you can get through. And this generation, hot damn, I cannot wait to see what amazing things they do, because to have at such a young age global awareness and understanding of my small action of staying home can protect that elderly person there. Like there's so, like, that's another thing I'm doing with my kids, is telling them we get to be superheroes and we get to wear our capes. And this is us being a superhero, is staying home and washing our hands a lot and not touching things. Because then we're protecting all the old people and all the people who are sick. And it's such a great opportunity, I think, right now to be teaching our kids, like, and this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is what resilience looks like. Watch me. Watch. I'll show you. And part of that is being honest and saying, sometimes I have days where I just want to lay on the couch and I don't feel motivated. It's not that I'm like training for a marathon and we have our color-coded schedule right here. And that's not what resilience is. Resilience is compassion. Resilience is being empathetic to yourself. Resilience is lowering your expectations to be appropriate. Resilience is connection. And part of that is connected to yourself and honoring and being kind to yourself with where you're at. So if in this hour, all I have capacity for is, then that's all I had capacity for. And I know myself, and I know that when I feel capable, I will get back up and I will go on to the next thing.